Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Construction, a layer of masonry. An angry dispute. The act of rowing as a sport. A continuous chronological succession without an interruption. They won the championship 3 years in a row. A linear array of numbers, letters, or symbols side by side. A long continuous strip, usually running horizontally. A mackerel sky filled with rows of clouds. An arrangement of objects or people side by side in a line. A row of chairs. Propel with oars. Row the boat across the lake. General line of orientation. The river takes a southern course. Construction, a layer of masonry. A course of bricks. A connected series of events or actions or developments. The government took a firm course. As might be expected. A mode of action. If you persist in that course, you will surely fail. A body of students who are taught together. Education imparted in a series of lessons or meetings. He took a course in basket weaving. Move along, of liquids. A line or route along which something travels or moves. The course of the river. Facility consisting of a circumscribed area of land or water laid out for a sport. The course had only 9 holes. Hunt with hounds. He often courses hares. Move swiftly through or over. Part of a meal served at one time. She prepared a 3-course meal. An angry dispute. An angry dispute. They had a quarrel. Have a disagreement over something. We quarreled over the question as to who discovered America. An arrow that is shot from a crossbow has a head with 4 edges. An angry dispute. An angry dispute. They had words. Words making up the dialogue of a play. The text of a popular song or musical comedy number. He wrote both words and music. Language that is spoken or written. He has a gift for words. The words that are spoken. I listened to his words very closely. To quarrel noisily, angrily or disruptively. The barkeeper threw them out, but they continued to wrangle on down the street. An angry dispute. An instance of intense argument, as in bargaining. Herd and care for. Wrangle horses. The act of rowing as a sport. An abstract place usually conceived as having depth. A simile has at least 2 layers of meaning. Single thickness of usually some homogeneous substance. A hen that lays eggs. A relatively thin sheet-like expanse or region lying over or under another. Make or form a layer. Layer the different colored sands. Thin structure composed of a single thickness of cells. A depression forming the ground under a body of water. He searched for treasure on the ocean bed. Have sexual intercourse with. Single thickness of usually some homogeneous substance. Slices of hard-boiled egg on a bed of spinach. Prepare for sleep. He goes to bed at the crack of dawn. A stratum of ore or coal thick enough to be mined with profit. He worked in the coal beds. A foundation of earth or rock supporting a road or railroad track. The track bed had washed away. A piece of furniture that provides a place to sleep. He sat on the edge of the bed. A plot of ground in which plants are growing. The gardener planted a bed of roses. Furnish with a bed. The innkeeper could bed all the new arrivals. Geology, a stratum of rock, especially sedimentary rock. They found a bed of sandstone. Place plants in a prepared bed of soil. Put to bed. The children were bedded at 10 o'clock. The flat surface of a printing press on which the type form is laid in the last stage of producing a newspaper or magazine or book, etc. A disagreement or argument about something important. Go against, as of rules and laws. This behavior conflicts with our rules. An open clash between two opposing groups, or individuals. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. A hostile meeting of opposing military forces in the course of a war. A disagreement or argument about something important. The familiar conflict between Republicans and Democrats. An incompatibility of dates or events. He noticed a conflict in the dates of the two meetings. A state of opposition between persons or ideas or interests. His conflict of interest made him ineligible for the post. Be in conflict. The two proposals conflict. Opposition between two simultaneous but incompatible feelings. He was immobilized by conflict and indecision. Opposition in a work of drama or fiction between characters or forces, especially an opposition that motivates the development of the plot. This form of conflict is essential to man's writing. A variation that deviates from the standard or norm. The number that remains after subtraction. The number that when added to the subtrahend gives the minuend. A disagreement or argument about something important. There were irreconcilable differences. A significant change. The difference in her is amazing. The quality of being unlike or dissimilar. There are many differences between jazz and rock. Coming into conflict with. Take exception to. A disagreement or argument about something important. He had a dispute with his wife. Have a disagreement over something. Someone who engages in sports. Play boisterously. Maine colloquial, a temporary summer resident of Maine. Wear or display in an ostentatious or proud manner. She was sporting a new hat. An active diversion requiring physical exertion and competition. Biology, an organism that has characteristics resulting from chromosomal alteration. Verbal wit or mockery, often at another's expense but not to be taken seriously. He said it in sport. A person known for the way she, or he, behaves when teased or defeated or subjected to trying circumstances. A good sport. The occupation of athletes who compete for pay. A contest between athletes. An active diversion requiring physical exertion and competition. Participation in sports events as an extracurricular activity. Film consisting of a succession of related shots that develop a given subject in a movie. A following of one thing after another in time. The doctor saw a sequence of patients. The action of following in order. He played the trumps in sequence. Arrange in a sequence. Determine the order of constituents in. They sequenced the human genome. Serial arrangement in which things follow in logical order or a recurrent pattern. The sequence of names was alphabetical. Several repetitions of a melodic phrase in different keys. A following of one thing after another in time. A following of one thing after another in time. A following of one thing after another in time. A following of one thing after another in time. Acquisition of property by descent or by will. The action of following in order. Ecology. The gradual and orderly process of change in an ecosystem brought about by the progressive replacement of one community by another until a stable climax is established. A group of people or things arranged or following in order. A succession of stalls offering soft drinks. Align oneself with a group or a way of thinking. Especially fine or decorative clothing. Lay out orderly or logically in a line or as if in a line. An arrangement of areals spaced to give desired directional characteristics. An impressive display. It was a bewildering array of books. An orderly arrangement. An array of troops in battle order. Lay bare. Take off or remove. Strip a wall of its wallpaper. An airfield without normal airport facilities. Remove substances from by a percolating liquid. A sequence of drawings telling a story in a newspaper or comic book. Take away possessions from someone. The Nazis stripped the Jews of all their assets. Get undressed. She strips in front of strangers every night for a living. A form of erotic entertainment in which a dancer gradually undresses to music. She did a strip right in front of everyone. Artifact consisting of a narrow flat piece of material. Remove all contents or possession from, or empty completely. Remove, someone's or one's own, clothes. Steal goods. Take as spoils. A relatively long narrow piece of something. He felt a flat strip of muscle. Draw the last milk, of cows. Remove a constituent from a liquid. Remove the surface from. Strip wood. Remove the thread, of screws. Strip the cured leaves from. Strip tobacco. Thin piece of wood or metal. A course of reasoning aimed at demonstrating a truth or falsehood. The methodical process of logical reasoning. I can't follow your line of reasoning. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. His face has many lines. Mechanical system in a factory whereby an article is conveyed through sites at which successive operations are performed on it. A connected series of events or actions or developments. Historians can only point out those lines for which evidence is available. The road consisting of railroad track and roadbed. A conceptual separation or distinction. There is a narrow line between sanity and insanity. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A conductor for transmitting electrical or optical signals or electric power. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Often plural, a means of communication or access. Lines of communication were set up between the two firms. The descendants of one individual. His entire lineage has been warriors. Space for one line of print, 1 column wide and 1/14 inch deep, used to measure advertising. A short personal letter. Drop me a line when you get there. A telephone connection. Be in line with, form a line along. Trees line the riverbank. The maximum credit that a customer is allowed. A particular kind of product or merchandise. A nice line of shoes. A pipe used to transport liquids or gases. A pipeline runs from the wells to the seaport. A commercial organization serving as a common carrier. Acting in conformity. In line with. A formation of people or things one behind another. The line stretched clear around the corner. A formation of people or things one beside another. The line of soldiers advanced with their bayonets fixed. A fortified position, especially one marking the most forward position of troops. They attacked the enemy's line. A length, straight or curved, without breadth or thickness, the trace of a moving point. A mark that is long relative to its width. He drew a line on the chart. A single frequency, or very narrow band, of radiation in a spectrum. A spatial location defined by a real or imaginary unidimensional extent. Cover the interior of. Line the gloves. Fill plentifully. Line one's pockets. In games or sports, a mark indicating positions or bounds of the playing area. Mark with lines. Sorrow had lined his face. Persuasive but insincere talk that is usually intended to deceive or impress. Let me show you my etchings as a rather worn line. Reinforce with fabric. Lined books are more enduring. Something, as a cord or rope, that is long and thin and flexible. A washing line. Text consisting of a row of words written across a page or computer screen. The letter consisted of 3 short lines. A dish, often boat-shaped, for serving gravy or sauce. A small vessel for travel on water. Ride in a boat on water. A course of some impermeable material laid in the foundation walls of building near the ground to prevent dampness from rising into the building. A course of some impermeable material laid in the foundation walls of building near the ground to prevent dampness from rising into the building. A course of bricks placed next to each other, usually in a straight line. A quarrel about petty points. A quarrel about petty points. A quarrel about petty points. Argue over petty things.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.